Husband, 28M, cheated, and I, 27F, am struggling. I am considering confiding in my sister-in-law? My husband cheated on me in July. He says they didn't have sex, but I find it hard to believe him as it took him months to reveal multiple versions of what happened that night. I'll also add that I was 7 months pregnant and I also had our 9-month-old and his 2 older boys, 5 and 8, at home with me that night. He went to a coworker's wedding to work, and then didn't come home until 6 a.m. the next day. Anyways, we are both in individual therapy, and after having to do some convincing we have started couples therapy. But I am struggling. I have so much resentment towards him for hurting our relationship. I am pissed that I have to put so much effort and go to couples therapy to save our relationship that didn't need to be broken. He shows even just a little irritation towards me and I lose it and become an emotional wreck because how can he be irritated with me over little day-to-day things when I am here putting in effort to his cheating lying ass? Nothing I do even compares to his betrayal and I feel like he doesn't understand the intensity of that. Is that super entitled of me? I know his feelings should be valid, but I just feel like he tries to act like I'm not going through the absolute hardest thing I've ever been through. I feel so alone and I feel like I want to confide in my sister-in-law because I want someone to know what I'm going through and how hard I'm trying even after everything. We're just not super close. She lives in another state, but I know she would listen to me and be compassionate. I just don't know how I feel about asking her to keep our conversation to ourselves because I know my husband will be pissed. I confided in my mom and didn't get the response I was hoping for. She wasn't as much on my side and protective of me as a person as I would have hoped, and that hurt a little. I don't know what I'm asking for here. I just feel so alone and misunderstood and underappreciated by my husband. Any advice, perspective, thoughts are appreciated. Pleading face. It's interesting to me that you think your cheating husband's sister is the best person to talk to even when you aren't super close emotionally or even geographically. Do you not have friends of your own that you are close to who would be compassionate? Confiding in your sil, that could completely backfire on you. Please, find someone, anyone else. I know y'all are in couples therapy, but have you relayed this to your husband? Especially the part where you blow up at his irritable moments. He doesn't know how you feel unless you say something. If you have and he's continuing to disregard you, then it shows a lack of caring, to be honest. He fully knows what he did could potentially break the relationship. If he wants to keep it together, common sense says to put more effort. Do not confide in your sil. Blood is thicker than water. Personally, I think you have the right to tell anyone you want to tell and confide in someone. Just make sure they have your best interest, but know that you don't have to put the effort in. You are more than justified to walk away and he would deserve it too, and I highly doubt that coming home at 6 a.m. means he didn't sleep with her at AF wedding. I doubt that very much, so I say you make choices that's best for you. I'm sorry, your husband doesn't sound very remorseful. He's not doing everything he can to help you feel safe. He's not being completely transparent. He isn't supporting your healing given that he seems to think you should be over it by now. I highly suggest heading to R.A.'s 1 after infidelity and learning about what you should consider expecting of him. A lot more than he's doing. And pick up a copy of Not Just Friends by Shirley Glass to read together. Her book is the authority on infidelity in the workplace. I, 19F, found out that my boyfriend, 21M, has been secretly deep faking videos. Any advice? We have been dating for over a year now. He has always been caring and thoughtful. So L was on his GitHub account one day and found out that he has been learning how to do face swap videos. I felt really uncomfortable about it, but he reassured me that it wasn't for anything sexual. I'm not sure what to believe, as I know that a vast majority of deepfake videos are for pornography. I have yet to see the videos he's made, as he refused to show them to me and even got really mad at me. I don't really know how to tackle this and would appreciate some advice. Lesson to learn early: friend, trust your intuition. Anyone doing deepfakes has issues, as the question of consent is also in that mix. Even if the videos are not malicious, deepfakes are realistically portraying someone in a way that does not represent them without consent. This in itself is concerning. Him freaking out and not showing you isn't just a red flag. It is an alarm bell. I would say leave, but if you don't, then you need to sit down and have a long conversation about why he is doing this, why it upsets you, and set firm boundaries. But honestly, this is one of those things that reveals a lot about his character. Listen to what your gut is saying. My best friend learned how to deepfake purely to put pictures of us into memes and send it to the friend group. Guys do dumb stuff sometimes. Just because he is saying that he isn't doing deepfakes for porn, it doesn't mean that it isn't harmful. Lots of deepfakes are being used to impact elections and to harm, blackmail others. Ask him about his ethics. If he hasn't thought about the ethics of deepfakes, or brushes you off, or makes excuses, are all red flags. That's not good. They are absolutely porn. I know this because there is no other reason to not show them to you, and because he got angry. Walk away. Yesterday. My 26F boyfriend, 26M, allows his sister and her kids to use all the electronics I buy for him. Hi all. I am posting here as I'm in some need of advice. My boyfriend, 26M, and I have been together for 8 years now. Things have been pretty great, but the one thing that is a constant struggle in our relationship is his family. I understand that family comes first, but he can never say no to his sister or his mom. Here is the issue. My boyfriend allows his sister and her kids to use the electronics or new gadgets I buy for him. I don't have a problem with him sharing, but I do have a problem with his sister keeping the items and him not saying anything about it. For example, a couple years ago I bought him headphones that cost me about $300. His sister would ask him every day if she can use them to work out and he would say yes. And now they're missing and he's afraid to ask her if she has them. I know she has them, but he's so afraid to ask her. Another example with me when I bought him a small basketball hoop that goes on your door. His nephew saw it and asked if he could borrow break up, which he said yes. Again, I don't mind that he shares, but do mind that his nephew kept it and he won't say anything. Every time I bring it up, he says that I'm overreacting or just simply stays quiet. And if I were to lose or share anything that he has bought me, he would literally say to me, "I'm not ever buying you anything. Not that I care and I cannot afford to buy my own stuff." It's just him throwing up coming up that gets me so much. I guess the advice I'm seeking is, what do I do? His sister is fully aware that the items belong to him and takes advantage of the fact that you're so kind. You've been together 8 years. This is how he is. Either accept it or split up. Just be aware when you buy him things, he's a family man. That's just how a lot of families operate. Don't get attached to the things you buy him. You gave them to him, they are his to do with as he wishes, you don't get an opinion. If he doesn't do anything about it, even when you tell him it bothers you, there is nothing you can do. Except buy him pants and socks going forward. Here is the long-term issue that you are not paying attention to. Today it's the expensive gifts you give him. What will it be like when you both have a house? If he is spineless now, these people will be living with you at some point and you will say nothing. You have a boyfriend problem if he can't even ask his sister that you're in for a lot if you marry this guy. Stop buying things like that. Just found out my 36 male, GF, 34F, is cheating. What now? Backstory. She had a 4-year-old when we first got together. She was previously in an abusive relationship with, let's call him Jay. He left her a couple of physical scars, and something else she will always have, we're careful. Apparently, at one point Jay even pushed her son, 14 male now, 4 at that time, to the ground when they were fighting. He's been in and out of jail over the past. She and I have been together for coming up on 10 years now. We have a 6-year-old son together, and I've loved her other son as my own the entire relationship. The best part of our relationship aside from that has been the amount of trust we've had in each other. Never felt the need to snoop. Always trusted each other if we got to friends, family alone, etc. Until recently, she randomly got a message from Jay, who she has actively been avoiding on socials, etc. She even got mad at her sister for once being friends on FB. She said she was just being short with him, and let him know it would never happen and she wouldn't ever see him because it would be disrespectful to me. But then she deletes the messages before ever letting me see. Said she didn't want to even see them. That's fine. But then she accepts his requests and becomes friends so it wouldn't be awkward if they ever bumped into each other. Her phone is on silent all the time now. It just started becoming suspicious, I suppose. Fast forward today, our son's 14th b-day. She gets a bunch of stuff ready to take to her sister's for a yard sale. Said she's just going to spend the night there to set up early. Which is fine. I have to work, so I'm not home until about midnight most nights. She leaves at 6 p.m., leaves the kids home alone until I get back. Every night intro to FaceTime her on lunch because we don't see each other much. Denied, 3 times. Phone call, not answered. I'm getting a little worried now. I get home, and check. I know this is bad, her old phone that we still have because I just bought her a new one. Disappearing messages with, you guess it, Jay. Talking about where to meet. I can't wait to see you. I'm so ready, baby girl. It won't be much longer. Addresses, etc. Obviously she doesn't know that I know. I'm not sure what to do. When she gets home, do I play it cool like I don't know, see if she seems different? Maybe this has been happening longer. Try to stay calm while I line up a lawyer. I do not want to miss out on time with the kids. Especially if potentially he would be with her and a convicted felon with a history of domestic abuse. The house is in my name. The cars are in my name, and I pay her for hers and her insurance. We both work, but I am the breadwinner. IDK, how much of this matters? I'm honestly just devastated that I can never trust her again and my family will likely never be the same. It doesn't help her sister apparently knew about this plan and said nothing to me either. TLDR found out 10-year girlfriend lied to me to meet up with her abusive ex-boyfriend, leaving the kids here on our 14-year-old's birthday, no less. She doesn't know I know. What now? Blow up her life. Change the locks. Reclaim your vehicle. If it's open enrollment for your work health insurance, remove her as of the 1st of January 2025. Get a lawyer, secure at least 50-50 custody of your biological child. Make it ironclad in the judgment her POS ex is to never be in same room or building as your 6-yo. You've taken care of a herpes-infected DV victim for 10 years. This is the thanks you get. Now it's your turn. Don't back down. Don't get a weak spine. You're gonna be told. It was a mistake, I didn't mean this to happen, I love you and only you, I only want to be with you forever, don't end our happy family, think of the kids. You say, no, you did this, you chose this, you decided to end our relationship and family. Do not blame me for your choices and your consequences. Thanks everyone for advice thus far. I do want to shield my kids from it as much as I possibly can. Although I will no longer be able to continue being in a relationship with her. She is still the mom of my child. Who knows what will happen when she gets home, but I will keep you all posted. Still on Reddit because I can't get my brain to let me sleep, melting face. I think you already know. It's a shame that this has happened, but you need to leave and move on with your kid. It's gonna be messy of course, but you owe it to yourself and your kid to move from that situation. This will be harsh, but the older child isn't yours. Please understand that. Worry about your newborn and prove them with love and support throughout the leaving process. Very sad that she went back to her abusive ex. I wonder why these women do that. It's not like these guys are going to change. I'm sorry that happened to you. You know it's over. Talk to a lawyer first. Do not confront until you have copies of all your evidence and it's in a safe place. STD tests right away. Get treatment right away if needed. If it's in question, DNA testing of your children, because this has been going on for a lot longer than you suspect. I would work at ensuring that banking is separated, direct deposits, savings, etc. Get her off your credit cards. Good luck. Update me. Tell your lawyer of your concerns about the kids. Make her your ex-girlfriend. She was not thinking of your relationship when she took her knickers off to let someone else screw her.